Oh, what the hell. I'm not gonna wait another minute. Hey guys, welcome to this anniversary live stream. So, to start off, can anybody tell me what two things we're celebrating today? But there's a little bit of delay, so I'll give you some time. But in the meantime, welcome. And let me open chat because I can see right now. There we go. Yeah, so as I mentioned before the stream started, there's no real set topic today. I can show you a few things and you guys can ask some questions and let's just, I don't know, talk for about an hour or so. And about channel related topics or me related topics, I don't know. And yeah, let's hang out together. 20k subs, Wimby, yo. Yes, that's one of the things. That's correct. Hey, Jay After Dark. Welcome. Let's see if I can pop this chat out. There we go. Yes, that's better. A year since your first live stream. Not that I know of. I actually don't know. I guess I can check my file share when I archived it. Let me check that. My first live stream was the 14/7, so 14th of July 2018 it seems. So no, that's been more than a year. I haven't done many, but yeah. Am I in? I think you're in, Heinz. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way? Does it need to be louder, softer? It's always a bit of a hassle to work out this setup because I don't have it set up permanently, so I have to rebuild it each time. Hope it works. I actually had a problem with my monitor. The power plug, it's broken internally, so now I have tape which like forces it down because it only works if it's in there in an angle. I really need to open that thing up and try and resolder that connection because I think it's just a broken solder joint. But yeah, 10 years married. No, I have been with my girlfriend 12 years and 2 months. I think 2-3 months, something like that. So not that yet. That's coming up. But no, not that. And we aren't married. But nowadays, yeah, maybe we'll marry at some point just to throw a big party. But otherwise. Yeah. Audio 10, video 10. Thank you, 2012 Anonymusa. Okay. So nobody's guessed yet, huh? Well, it happened this week. Yes, it was this week. On Wednesday. Let's see how many people are in. I can't actually see right now. 48. If we hit 50 people, let's hope we do. I'll tell you what we're celebrating today. 49, 200 videos. I don't actually know how many videos I have up. I know I've made or started more than 200 videos, but I don't know if I have 200 up in YouTube. 52 people. Okay. Bert Noorder, just on the nick of time. Yes, I turned 41 on Wednesday this week, the 5th. So we're celebrating 20,000 subscribers. Yay! And we're celebrating that I turned 41. Trying to rearrange everything here. So yeah, as I said, I don't really have anything special planned today. I have some stuff that came in recently that I can show you, and we can talk about that. Maybe people have some questions after my last video about the bedroom attic lighting, and I'd like to know what you guys thought of that. Thanks, Brett. Congratulations, birthday. Yes, birthday. Happy B-Day. What? You thought I was older, Iratro? Why do I look so old? I need some more facial cream or, I don't know, rejuvenation. That IP camera is flaking out. Why is it doing that? Let's just move it away for now and turn it back on. There we go. Have we cut the cake yet? Well, not yet. There's no cake. I actually don't like cake. I think I got sick from it when I was very young, like 5 or 6 at one point. And after that, cake and pie and stuff like that, just doesn't really work for me. And since I turned diabetic, I think about 2 years ago, it turned out I was diabetic. I didn't know. Well, after that, we knew. It's not really something I should eat anymore anyway. I can if I really want to, but, you know, so no cake. I don't know why your message was blocked, but you're getting allowed. Just 2 years younger than me. Well, it's a good age to be. I like it. I don't really feel 41. I feel like between 25 and 35, somewhat-ish, I guess. It really depends on how you feel, I guess. Hey Jeff, welcome. Have we popped the champagne? Well, I have some iced tea. Oh, did you guys see the balloon? Oh no, that's over. Sorry, that's Did you guys see the balloon? Maybe that gave it away a little bit. That's actually the present I got from my girlfriend because, well, I mostly just buy anything I want to have, so she really doesn't know what she needs to. What she even could buy me for my birthday. So, she got me that balloon. It's cool. I've been punching it around the house the whole week. Berenburg. I actually don't drink alcohol. Not so much because I can't or I shouldn't or something like that. I don't like the taste. And especially when I was younger, I didn't like the mandatory drinking until you were shit-faced and then you do all kinds of stupid stuff, and I don't like people anymore. So, but I mainly don't drink it because I just don't like the taste of alcohol in anything. So, yeah, no beer or other kinds of alcohol for me. So, sorry, my voice has been cutting on and in and out, so I'll try and scrape it while I'm mute it. Let's talk about these 20,000 subscribers. I started about... Can I check this also? Hold on. I don't know when I started. I think my first... Oh, no, that's lost. Video windows. Okay, so my first video rendered on the 28th of May in 2017. So 2018, 2019, 2020. Yeah, so in May, it'll be 3 years since I've had my... Is that correct? Yeah. In May, it'll be 3 years since I've had my channel. Cool. And we reached 20,000 already, so that's pretty good. Why is that camera flaking? That really sucks. I know. Let's just reboot it. You've lost your network connection. Now it's back. There we go. So what's coming up for the channel? Well, not that much different really. I made a channel trailer last year. I don't think I'm going to make one this year. And I'm thinking I'm just going to continue what I've been doing. So lots of LED stuff, things surrounding servers. Last year in 2019, I did my whole 100 terabyte 10 gigabit server build. This year I'm actually thinking, and now I need that extra camera, but I disconnected it. Let me see if I can get it back. It's not booted yet. Well, then I'll just have to wait. Rattler then, yeah, so more LED stuff. I have something for digital LEDs prepared. I have something for analog LEDs prepared. I can show you a little bit of that later if my extra camera will start working again. More server stuff, as I said. I actually recently bought one of these. Who knows what that is? I'll wait for the chat. Who knows what this little box is? Oh, Jeff, you went there. Oh, no. Ah, yes, I hope 2020 will be the year that I actually get to use my ultimate disk project or finish it or whatever. That's a Pi. Yep, that's a Pi 4. Actually, a Pi 4 with 4 gigabytes of memory. And I've started a project, and I've been talking to a manufacturer who makes a Pi SATA hat to do some benchmarks and tests on that. And, well, last year I did my 100 terabyte 10 gigabit server. So this year I was thinking, okay, let's do the exact opposite. Let's build a Pi 4, which will run Home Assistant, 4 disks as a NAS, a file server, and then also be an NVR for like NX Witness and see if we can run that on a Pi. So anywhere depending on your situation. I know most people don't need a 100 terabyte server. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. But maybe a Pi for people who just want to run Home Assistant but don't want to run from the SD card and want to use it as a NAS too, and maybe a small NVR for some cameras. That could be a really nice project. So I've been starting work on that. I got the Pi and I got some other parts, and that should be upcoming. Those things are nice. Already have 3 of them. Nice. Oh, whoa. Lots of people got the Pi correct. May I ask... may we ask here your work? You work. Yes, you may ask. What do you want to know about my work? I did a little bit of explanation in the last live stream. But what would you like to know? So, okay. Is the top cam back? Yes, the top cam has returned. Okay, cool. So that means I can show you more stuff later on. So yeah, Pi. I think it will fit a little bit, but it's still mainly in here. So expect some content around that. Oh, it's still flaking out. Why does it do that? Why doesn't it do that during testing and then only when I'm live? Anyway, he works at CampZone. I wish. CampZone is... I don't really make much profit from CampZone. Nobody does, really. I own part of the CampZone company, that's right, and I do a lot of stuff for CampZone, but I have a 40... Well, it's not 40 hours anymore. I had a 36-hour work week, and I've scaled it down to 32 hours a week. Just a normal job for a boss like most of you guys too. I work in IT. I mainly work with large storage systems and backup systems. And I design those, troubleshoot those, implement those. I basically work as a consultant in large data systems. And yeah, I also do CampZone and LAN parties. And I do my YouTube channel and have fun with that and electronic projects. And I make LED dimmer boards. This is one of the latest prototypes, except that since this prototype, I've already changed a lot of stuff. But I'm hoping that the version that I ordered now, but China's kind of celebrating New Year and being sick at the same time. I really wish the best to those guys, but that is going to delay some stuff. But I'm really hoping that the newest prototype I've made will be the one. And then I can release the quinled-deca-plus, as I've named it. I was going to call it the Deca Pro, but because I've dropped the Ethernet interface because I couldn't get it stable, I renamed it from Pro to Plus. Because in my mind, Pro is like Ethernet and stuff like that. So, yeah. But we're getting sidetracked here. I was talking about project I was going to do. Oh, yeah. Some other stuff that's upcoming. I have 3 new IP cameras. I still need to receive one that I have in for testing, and I'm going to do some comparisons with. One of those is 4K, like most of them I test. Another one is 4 megapixel, but it has a very high light sensitivity. And then another one is also 4 megapixel, I believe, but it's very much a budget camera. They're all Dahua cameras, but I'm going to try and see if I can make a comparison, or maybe a few videos about those. So more Home Assistant stuff is coming up. I will be doing more about the thermostats. I've actually been working on that. We can take a quick look at that, which I've made. Let's see if I... No. Sorry, guys. Yeah, there we go. And now we click here, Chrome. Yeah, there we go. I've been working on setting up a new home assistant in my home because the one I built like 1.5 years ago, I kind of just kept building on top of that. But it was mostly a test home assistant, I guess you could say. And now I've actually made a sort of production home assistant. And I've been, I think I could make this a little bit bigger. Yeah. I've been adding all the temperature sensors. So I have temperature sensors in my hallways. I have temperature sensors in all the different bedrooms upstairs and in the attic. And then I have some temperature sensors in the living room and in the kitchen and stuff like that. I also have some graphs. And, well, I wanted to have this finished first before I would move on to basically replacing the thermostat equipment with what I've designed myself. So I know it's been a long while, but that is going to be continued. Let's move back. There we go. Let's see what chat is saying. Strike one for mentioning the ultimate desk build. Nah, I know someone is going to, so if Jeff's going to do it, that's fine. I deserve that. Happy birthday and congrats on the 20k. I'd love to see you do a quick example of how you solder with a hot air station. Mainly how you solder paste of flux. Okay. Yeah, I can do an upcoming video about that. Actually, let me change the camera real quick. There we go. If you look at this guy, on the back here, I'm not sure how well you can see that. Wait, let's go at it. As you can see, this is basically only SMD components on the back. So there will have to be hot air soldering videos in the future because, well, this is based on SMD completely. So these are all SMD modules. These are SMD. There's lots of tiny ones over here. There's an array over here too. Yeah, this would be impossible without hot air or a reflow oven. I don't have a reflow oven either, so hot air is fine. But yeah, more hot air stuff is coming up because, well, basically this is just a more advanced design, and it would be basically impossible with through-hole components only. And so, well, we're going to look at hot air more in the future. And I've also been working on the quinled-dig-uno and getting those boards pre-made. Now we're talking about PCBs and stuff anyway. Chinese holidays and, well, the flu has kind of delayed that, but I'm still hoping that in February, this month, I will have the sales page up. I will first, I'll put it up live on my website, then I'll share it on my Discord, and then probably 2-3 days later, I will make a video about it so people can also see it who are only subscribed to the YouTube channel. So if you are on a Discord server and you want to buy pre-made quinled-dig-unos, that's the first place you'll see it. Or on the website, but then you'll have to accidentally encounter it when I put it live. So, will there be a pre-made Deca? Deca, not so much, but the Deca-plus, which is this one, I'm thinking of maybe doing 3 versions. I will do the DIY version with all the documentation, everything that needs to be done for that, like I did for my other modules. But this is a much bigger chore than the other ones. I actually, the other ones I like soldering because they're fun. This is a bit beyond fun because you'll be spending hours soldering one module. So I'm thinking of doing bare PCBs, but even just ordering the PCBs, it will be $60 to $80 just to get the PCBs. So I'm thinking of doing the PCB with all the SMD components on there. So then you can order like 1 or 2. It'll have all the SMD components on there, and you can solder all the through-hole components like the terminals, the standoffs, the fuse holders, stuff like that. And third, I might look into doing a complete module, but having someone in a factory solder all those through-hole components, well, that's actually going to be pretty expensive. So I might do a batch of those that third option to have it all soldered. It really depends on how well the quinled-dig-uno does. If those are gone in like 1 or 2 weeks, I'll do more pre-assembled stuff. If those take like half a year, I might need to reconsider those plans because there's a lot of time that goes into that. I know people are putting up videos like, yeah, GLC PCB, you just design your PCB and then you tell them, make this for me, and they'll solder it all and it's done. Sure, if you only put like easy components on there, which they have in their machines, and they don't need all kinds of special pick and place files, and you have special things on the board and stuff like that. Something like this, as you've been noticing with the quinled-deca-plus, takes months to prepare before they actually make the board the right way and you can sell it. So it takes a lot more time. Very nice name for the temp sensor, bedroom sloth. I know it's a creak, but that just doesn't sound right in my head. And if I'm fumbling around in the dark looking for the right LED strip to turn on or off, I just named it sloth. I was like, F it. That's fine. How does your setup with cob LED downlights still work? Perfectly fine. As I showed in the previous video, the bedroom video, most of my quinled OG dimmers are still in place and functioning perfectly. That's part of the reason why I haven't replaced everything yet with a quad or deca, or with this new plus. When I'm trying to get the plus finished, everything just works. Everything works every day, and it's been doing so for 3 years. And I think I had maybe once that it didn't work, but we had a power outage or something like that. So if everything works, the drive to replace it is very low, because there's always more stuff to do, and replacing something that already works and functions perfectly, that's just very low effort. But when the plus is finished, I will be replacing those in all the locations. And then I will be replacing the OGs and the ones connected to those cob LED downlights. But those are still working perfectly. Those are our daily lights. Yeah. How many cameras do you have around your house? I'm assuming all are 4K. If so, what processor do you use? Are you recording them 24/7? If so, what hard drive would you recommend? Okay, I have generally about 10 4K IP cameras connected. Currently it's about 12 because I have more testing cameras in and stuff like that. But in and around the house I generally have 10 live and that are recording. I use NX Witness, as you might have seen on my channel, and I do software motion detection on them. I really need to look into hardware motion detection because it's now supported. But I have 2 cores of a Ryzen 1700X dedicated to it, so 2 logical cores, and on average those 2 cores see about, I can click here and see it. No, do it. Let's see, current CPU utilization of the NVR is 30%. So, yeah, NX Witness really doesn't need much CPU horsepower. As a storage, I run NX Witness inside of a VM. In that VM, I have NFS storage from the large server, which is the same server, connected over NFS, and then that connects to a single disk, which it's a ZFS disk, but it's a single disk of 4 terabyte that I use to store that footage. I have more of those disks. So if that fails, I'll lose some old footage, and well, then I'll just put in a new disc and it'll continue recording to that. I really don't think NVR camera data is important enough to maybe use 2 discs or a RAID set or something like that. I rather use that space for something else. I am recording 24/7, but I do high-low recording. As I mentioned, I have the motion detection running in NX Witness, and basically the low stream of all the cameras is always recorded, so that's like 640, 480, something like that. And when it detects motion, it will record the high stream also 5 seconds before the motion happened. That way it just saves a lot of storage. I record everything in 5 Mbit or 6 Mbit H.265 at 4K. And most of my cameras, except this one for instance, are 4K 15 FPS. This one is 4K 30 FPS. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Packer Backer. I actually don't have on screen how many people are watching. Let me check that. 72. Cool. Nice. I don't actually know what my record is. Hi Quinder, have you heard anything of fire damage occurring on Raywu WS2811 12-volt regulated bullet pixels? Apparently capacitor is becoming loose over time on bullet LEDs and causing fire risk. Oh, that's not good. No, I have not. I think it doesn't really matter if they're from Raywu or someone else. Those pixels are pretty standard. He does. I buy some stuff from Raywu sometimes. His stuff is fine. I actually have some LEDs. I can get those. I have some LEDs prepared, which I'm going to do a project later on this year. Let me get something. Hold on. Sorry about the noise. So these are I showed you guys the SK6812 WWA, so warm white, cool white, and amber. These are those LEDs, but in a, let's make it bigger. This one. These are the same LEDs, so warm white, cool white, and amber, but in a watertight package, basically, with X-Connect connectors, so I can connect them watertight outside. And I have 800 of these, I think. I bought a whole bunch. I mean, I went kind of nuts. Yeah, and I have some projects for this outside, but currently it's winter and wet and cold, and I haven't really felt like doing it yet. But that will be upcoming this year, because as you can see, I have lots of this stuff. And I've already been doing some testing in regards to voltage drop and cabling and stuff like that. But I'll make videos of all the steps and all the process, including like how many can you link before you start to have too much voltage drop. Is that like 4 or 3 or 2? Or how do you cable that? How do you counteract that and stuff like that? So again, that is an upcoming project. Let me put those back real quick. Do you want to light it up an airstrip near your house? No, that's not the intention, but they're addressable LEDs, and yeah, so I want to be able to create nice effects, and I kind of like I'd rather buy the 60 or the 144 LEDs per meter than the 30 LEDs per meter most people use, because I just like having more smoothness over the effects and stuff like that. So quick question. I've bought the LSC Smart Connect. Don't know what that is. LED strip and want to run Mode on it. What's the best way to flash it without a Raspberry Pi? I have no clue. I don't know what an LSC Smart Connect LED strip is. So, sorry about that. Hi everybody, Paulson. Christmas lights project. Yeah, I initially planned to do this outside project last year, but as always, I was kind of over-ambitious, I guess you could say. So I had to put some projects on hold, and I prioritized the Christmas tree, which came up very nice. And after that, I prioritized the bedroom, because someone in the house, not me, had been asking for that for a while. So instead of doing nice decorations outside, maybe it's better to finish that project first. What are the costs of one string? I don't actually know from head. I think it's around 8 or 10 bucks with the X-Connect connectors on there, and there's 50 LEDs per string. ESP8266 based LED strip from the Action stores. Okay, well, we have Actions here in Holland or in the Netherlands, but I haven't looked at those, so I don't know how to flash them either. Are they analog or digital? I guess that's what you first need to find out. And, well, basically see if someone else has done it already. That's most often the way to go. Yeah, so, channel related, lots of stuff coming up. Oh, I wanted to share something. Hold on. That's funny. This is the bag I have from China. With all the leftover parts of them making 100 quinled-dig-unos. So they mostly had those connectors because, well, we don't use them. And I'm going to sell the Dig-Uno pre-made with everything included. So you'll have a fuse there. One, I wanted to include two, but the communication with China is not always great. And an ESP8266 D1 Mini is included. But I have like little connectors and little resistors and screw terminals and a whole bunch of these for some reason. Those are all left over, so yeah, that's a fun bag. But I have this bag because I've tested the latest sample from the factory, and that is acceptable. Yeah, they made these nice little 3-pin for the GPIO selector and the voltage selector. So that's cool. Yeah, but I tested the latest sample that came out of the factory, and I'm very happy with that one. So the 100 modules have been made. They're ready. It's just waiting on them to get back from Chinese New Year. And I don't know how the flu is going to influence them. But yeah, that is definitely progressing. It just takes a little while. Nope, this one. Let's see what everyone's saying. You can use Tuya Convert. Is there anything worth knowing about different connectors for LEDs? Yeah, I've looked into the different connectors. I went X-Connect because that doesn't seem to be a brand that's just from one person. I can get multiple suppliers to send it to me. But basically it's the same thing, just different diameters. Diameters, that's better. Diameters, yes. Great English, Andries. But basically different diameters from what I've been able to tell. Most cable is 0.75 millimeters square cable inside of there, so that's fine too. Yeah. Speaking of that, I actually got something in today. You can take a look at that. How much will they be? That's a good question. I haven't finalized the price fully yet, but I'm thinking they'll be $24.99. So you'll get a quinled-dig-uno without shipping costs for $24.99. And part of that is because this design isn't really made to be made in a factory. It's a DIY easy design. So they have to do a lot of handwork. So these modules are a little bit more expensive than another mass-produced product you'd expect. So building one yourself, you can build one as low as, I think, $12 or $14, because it does include the 5-volt and 12-volt regulator. It doesn't include the temperature sensor. Maybe if I make a bigger batch next time it can. Yeah, but $24.99. What do you guys think about that price? Programming QuinLED for OpenHAB. Well, if you run ESP Home, you can talk to them using MQTT, and otherwise you could run other firmware maybe. So if there's firmware like Tesmoda or ESP Easy or ESP Now or something like that, which would work for OpenHAB, maybe you could run that. All the pinouts and stuff like that for all the QuinLED modules are on quinled.info. So yeah, if there's software that's easy and you can use, that should be compatible. Seems fair, good price. Okay, it's a good price. Oh, okay, thanks. I've been really dubbing with that because I want to keep it as cheap as possible, but there's also a lot of work that goes into it, and they're never going to be the same or cheaper than building them yourself, because I basically have to, well, I actually have to buy the components more expensive than on AliExpress, because AliExpress and buying and sending in China, it doesn't really work. It's complicated, but the components that go on there are actually more expensive than you buy them yourself. So yeah, it's just a hassle. It's been a lot of work to get this done, but it is getting done. Does WLED recognize the temp center on the Dig-Uno board? Yes and no. By default, no, but there's user modules you can compile with it, and then it will work and send the temperature data over MQTT. And later, I've talked to AirQuickly about this. He actually opened up a new forum. Have you guys seen that? But I talked to him about this, and he will do a sort of sensor framework in the future, and then all those things will become easier. But for now, that's how it is. Where in NL are you at? Well, I live in a small town. It's so small we don't even have a grocery shop or supermarket or anything really. We have a church and a snack bar. Or it's a free tent. I don't know. But it's near Den Bosch. It's like 10-minute drive from Den Bosch. So, we were talking about cabling earlier. I know I've recommended... No, wait. So, when you look at LED strip, you'll often see these cables, right? This is 4-pin cable. And this is generally what's connected to the LED strip. But this is... this is actually 5-pin cable. Well, anyway. But this is actually really a thin gauge. So I think this is 28 gauge or maybe 26 gauge. Is it on there? Let me see. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is 26 gauge. So, connecting your LED strips with this wire, which is often also pre-attached, I don't really like it. It's way too thin. So, I've been working with a new supplier, and we'll be talking about what I've been working on. I'll show you in a minute. But they also had listed, and I've just bought these. I didn't get them from them. And this is AWG 18. No, I don't remember. 18 or 16. Yeah, 16. Okay. So this is AWG 16, but then also in 3-pin and 4-pin variant. So as you can see, if I compare this to this one, yeah, I think the 4-pin is actually thicker than the 5-pin of the other one. So there's a lot more copper in here. And I'm going to do more tests with this in the future, but I just wanted to have leads I could solder to LED strip, which would be, well, a lot thicker and still have the multi-cable, like is easier to use than using your own cables. So I got these in today. I'll be testing those in the future, and if these are good, I'll probably be changing my links to them, because I'd rather have people using these than, yeah, this thin stuff. I do a lot of testing you guys don't actually see, I think. Is there an LED strip connector or quick connector alternative for soldering directly to the LED strip you would recommend? That's a good question. No. There might be better ones nowadays, but when I started out with this stuff like many years ago, I tried some of those connectors, and basically all the setups I did with those connectors, I ripped apart a few months later, because they would be flaking, you'd have to wiggle the connector, and then you have to scrape more stuff, or I have to cut off more LEDs because the pads were too small, or it didn't fit right into the connector, or the clamp force was too low, or it came loose, or whatever happened. I just learned how to solder leads to LED strip because a solder bond with metal to metal is actually really strong. So even if you like tug on the cable and anything like that, nothing will happen. So I've kind of given up on those connectors. Maybe they're better nowadays. I could maybe order a few and do a new test on them, if that's something you guys would be interested in. But currently recommendations for those, no. I recommend soldering leads to LED strip. Can you explain the difference between your device and the Shelly RGB-W dimmer, or are they completely different products? I don't know what the Shelly RGB-W does. Is that just a 4-channel DC dimmer? One of the things I can think of that's different, if we compare it to a quad, because a quad is 4 channels, and the Shelly RGB-W is also 4 channels. One is power handling. I think the quad will be able to handle much more power per channel and in total, because the quad was designed so that you can hook up 4 warm white or white strips to it, which use like a 50 or 100 watt each. And if you use RGB stuff, each wire or terminal uses a lot less current. The second is the quad uses an ESP32. So for analog PWM, this is very important because an ESP8266 is limited to 1000 Hertz maximum in PWM values, and an ESP32 is much better at this. And I mostly design my boards around being able to take 300,000 Hertz PWM. So that's why I can use them here in my studio. This is all controlled using QuinLED boards because the PWM frequency is so high that next to a human not being able to perceive it anymore, even camera sensors aren't even able to perceive it. So next to that, I have some GPIO pins on it. Yeah, I don't know, that kind of stuff. Let's see, where were we? But from what I hear, by the way, the Shelly products are fine. I'm not trying to diss it. I don't have one, so I don't have any experience with it. But those are differences I can think of. Do you have Patreon? No, I do not. I started out making these videos for fun, and it kind of feels weird to ask for money for them, I guess, because you don't have to watch them. I don't know. I don't have to make them. It's difficult. I'd much rather you use one of my Amazon or AliExpress or Banggood affiliate links, and I get some cash that way, than that you pay me per video or per month, because that would mean I would kind of feel obligated to make those videos, and I'd rather do them for fun. And I'm not ruling out I might not do one in the future. It's a difficult question. I don't have one right now because I don't feel like it's good to take your money that way right now. Maybe in the future I'll change that. But right now, using the boards specifically and the AliExpress links, the affiliate revenue from that is good enough that I can continue doing this. So yeah, that's basically it. Solder is king. Yes, it is. Do you have any ESP YAML examples, like links to run a press button that connects to the Deca GPIO? The single press button should do on-off with short press and dimming, up-down with long press. No, I don't have examples for that, but just look in the ESP Home website. They have examples for that. And a Deca pin is just a normal GPIO pin, and there's lots of them broken out on the QuinLED Deca. So, yeah, just look that up. That should be pretty easy. A few lines of code and you're done. What's the benefit of using a dig-uno versus a Node MCU using WLED? Well, let me see if I can pull up a website real quick. There we go. As I mentioned earlier, real quick, Air Cookie or Cookie from WLED made a forum recently, and I made a topic on that. I discussed this with them first. I asked permission, and there's a hardware topic on there now, and I've made a quinled topic. And let me see if I can make that a bit bigger. So, quick advantages, and then we'll continue because I think most people know this already. Above using a quinled-dig-uno above just a Node MCU or something like that. So you can use an ESP8266 or ESP32, whatever your project desires or is needed. Mostly with WLED and 8266 is fine. It has reverse polarity input and output protection. So if you cross the wires coming into the module or exiting the module, depending a little bit on the fuse you have in there, it should protect the electronics on the board and the LED strip. It has a fuse on there, so let's say you put 10 amps of LEDs behind it. Next to being able to set the software limit in WLED, you can actually put a physical fuse on there, and if a short happens or something else happens on that LED strip, the fuse will blow, cut off all power, and no fire. So that's always a good thing. It allows you to run power through the board, so it has screw terminals for the power going in and screw terminals for the power going out, and that allows you to run up to 15 amps through the board or 25 amps if you get the one with more copper. It has a level shifter on board, so you don't have to finick with donor pixels or other types of boosting. Everything is just done on the board itself, and you can just screw in the data cable and you're done. It has capacitors to limit the inrush current and provide stable power for the microcontroller, so and the LED strip actually, so that if you have very quick changing effects and stuff like that, the caps will help in stabilize that. It has two data outputs, so you can use APA 1 or 2 instead of just WS28, 12, 15 or something like that. With that said, it is 5 volt and 12 volt compatible, so if you want to run 12 volt LED strip, you can easily add a DC-DC converter to the board, set a jumper, and that's it. You don't have to do any complicated wiring with getting 5 volt to the, or 3.3 volt to the Node MCU and 12 volt to your strip, and it does everything for you. It has 4 GPIOs pin headers available, which are the correct pins for WLED for controlling a power relay and for doing infrared. And it has a temperature sensor, it's optional, on board, so you can get temperature information mostly from the controller, not so much from the environment, but if you put the controller in a box, it's nice to know what the temperature of that controller is. So anyway, this is the WLED community forum. It's next to the Discord and the GitHub issues list, because he's trying to separate all that and get some more people involved with it. Because WLED has grown quite big, I think, for a hobby project, which it is for him. So he's trying to separate those things where you can ask questions in the Discord or on the forum. The GitHub issues should really become more of an issue list, and this way people can help each other. And if a question gets answered in the forum, you can lead, and you have that same question like half a year later, you can read how someone else dealt with it and fixed it. So I think it's a good move. I'll be on that forum and trying to answer some questions and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's wled.discourse.group. But if you're in the WLED... oh, paste it in chat. Hold on. There we go. Oh, I missed a lot of chat. Okay. Yeah, so if you like WLED and you have maybe a question, check out the forum. And I think it's a great move from him. Let me go back. There we go. I really don't know why that... is it that one? No. I don't know why that camera is spazzing out, but I don't know how to fix it right now either. Let me, I kind of lost what I was talking about. Oh, the differences between a quinled-dig-uno and just using a node MC. I hope that answers most of your questions in that regard. Solder's King. Did you ever try add wired Ethernet to your quinled boards? I did. I did try to do so on the quinled-deca Pro, and I couldn't get it to work stably with the ESP32 and how I'm building these boards. So I decided to scrap that feature and rename it to the Plus. So no wired Ethernet yet. I might revisit that topic in the future for some other modules. Hi Frank. Shelly RGB2 supports 288 watts, combined power 90 watt per channel. Okay, that's probably with at 24 volt, but that's a decent amount of power. Still, I don't want to brag, I guess, but the quinled quad, especially the quinled-deca-plus, for instance, can support a lot more power per channel, but 90 watts will mostly be enough for most situations, so that's pretty good. Let's see here. If you ask money, you have an obligation. When you don't charge, people can do streams whenever you feel like. Yeah, well, that's part of the reason why I don't like to ask money for the things I do. I want you guys to enjoy it, and I don't, yeah. I don't know, maybe if my situation changes and I'd have to choose like between the channel and work, or make other choices in that, I might do something like a Patreon. But right now I don't need to, so I don't. Yeah, it's a difficult subject. I'm kind of in the middle. I understand why people do it, and right now it doesn't feel like the right thing to do, but maybe if I like stopped working, it would. So I don't know. I'm nowhere close to that, by the way. Don't. I have no hope at that whatsoever. So, don't, yeah. Might be interesting to see if a quinled RGB be powered by PoE. Yeah, I've heard this before. PoE, even the normal high standard only delivers up to 30 watts. You'd want to reserve at least 5 watt for the ESP module and other electronics, so that's 25 watt. But then you have a lot of conversion loss, so you're down to like 15 to 20 watts maybe. And that's not even 1 meter of LED strip. Basically, that's a no. And also, you could say, okay, but maybe you can make a sensor board that runs on PoE. Sure, but that'd be a really expensive board. And the ports of PoE you'd need to power that would be more than power adapters themselves. So, economics-wise, it's just not a great idea. PoE is okay for IP cameras and stuff like that because you already need a data connection. But if you can do the sensor wirelessly, much cheaper. And yeah, PoE is just it's just expensive. It's expensive to get your power to where it needs to be, because next to the hardware you need on the module, you also need that PoE port. And yeah, I'm buying quinleds. Okay. Cool, Paulson. Thank you. Good evening, all. Nice board. Do you have a day job? It is your bread and butter. I want to get out of my job. Lol. Grab a sandwich. No, as I explained earlier, I have a day job. I have been able to scale it down a little bit because of income from the channel and the boards and mostly affiliate revenue. But I still have a normal job like everyone else here. So, yeah. Does the Dig-Uno need cooling or overheat at all? Do you plan a specific box or a boxed version? No, it doesn't need cooling. It's been calculated to be able to handle the loads, and I've actually tested it with a thermal camera and everything. To handle the loads I specify for it. And, well, if you put it in a completely sealed enclosure, those values, of course, won't hold up. I don't know. I've never tested it in a completely sealed enclosure. But then it would become hotter than, well, not being in the enclosure. So, yeah. It's been tested in open air. With an enclosure, it'll get hotter. But would have to be a very tiny enclosure with really a lot of power to run through it to overheat it, because the copper area is very spread out and very. I've taken a lot of margin there, so no, it shouldn't heat up too much. How does your Ender 3 endeavor, and have you any 3D designs for your LED boards? My 3D printing stuff is kind of hit and miss. I basically make just stuff I need. I don't design much myself. I just download designs from Thingiverse, like most people do, I think. I have more fun designing boards than designing housings. But there's lots of people who have already made housings for the quinled modules, including the dig-uno, the quad, the deca, and stuff like that. And I sometimes use one of those, or I just use a little project box like I used in my bedroom video. So I don't do that much 3D printing. I do some stuff, just for fun. I like the small delay between the font and the desktop camera. I've tried to sync the delays as best I could, but Cool, looking forward to the Ethernet option. Okay. Hello from India. Hello, Ritvik Somaji. I hope I didn't butcher that. So, yeah, more boards are coming up. Let me see if I can share you something, actually. We've been talking about the quinled-dig-uno again. Hold on. Trying to prepare some stuff. Since you guys are all here in the live stream, I am willing to share a sneak peek if you guys have something I've been working on. See if this works. Yes, it does. Chrome. There we go. This is a new board I've been working on, and for now I'm going to call it the quinled-dig-quad. So one of the things I noticed in doing LED projects with my own board myself, no, not this one. Is it here? Basically, in a lot of projects, here it is, I would use these 3-pin connector blocks. You know, you've seen them in lots of my videos, and I like using them. And I would use them behind, for instance, the quad or behind a dig-uno to distribute the positive and negative power to multiple wires, because especially with 5 volt, you'll need to do multiple wire voltage injection over longer lengths. And I thought, okay, but if I can do that externally, I'd rather have fuses in them. Well, then I said, okay, let me get more stuff. I was like, okay, if I'm doing bigger projects, I need bigger stuff. And for large projects where I actually have lots of injection wires and things like that, I've been using... Oh, you can't see that. Let's do this one. I've been using blocks like these. So this is a, if I can get it open, this is a connection terminal block, which has, let me see, there we go. You can put in the positive rails here. That then gets distributed to all these terminals, which you can fuse independently. You can get the cables coming out of here. And then this is your negative terminal. And you can get the negative wires through here. This is just the distribution because it's already fused on the positive side. And then you can do lots of power injection wires, which are still fused. I was like, okay, that's great for giant projects. And using one of these... normal little blocks is fine. Oh, let's just put it here. That's fine for doing small projects, but I'd rather have fuses there. So what I came up with is this guy. And this guy is kind of preparing for WLED to also be able to run multiple LED strips using multiple data pins. So this is a 4-channel board, which also has 5. I don't know if can you guys see my mouse? Let me check that myself. Oh, there you guys, you can see my mouse. Nice. Which also has 5 fuses on it for output terminals, and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 terminals. I can actually zoom in. Ha! 7 terminals for outputting positive and negative. Negative is on the other side of the board, so they're over here. And 1 and 2 have a fuse, 2 and 3 have a fuse together, and then 4, 5, 6, and 7 have their own dedicated fuse. So basically that combines... nope. Okay. Basically that combines this all onto the PCB. And I've been working on that. I have my first prototype design has been finished. And I've ordered the PCBs, but as you know, China and New Year's and viruses and stuff like that. I wanted to share something with you guys. Oh, that's not actually that. Okay, I don't know where I want the extra connectors are that I wanted to share. That's not that important. But yeah, so you've seen it here first. The quinled-dig-quad will have more onboard fuses and power distribution. So when you need to run multiple wires, especially for your 5-volt addressable LED pixel projects, you can do that from the board itself. And you can use it like a quinled-dig-uno, so just use a single channel right now with WLED, that works fine, or, well, I don't have the boards yet, but that should work fine. And then when multi-output or multi-parallel output for data wires gets released for WLED, and I've talked to Air Cookie about this, it'll probably somewhere this year, you can use four separate output streams from a single controller. That would be an ESP32 only. If you just use one, you can still use an ESP8266 like you can with the Dig-Uno. So you could still use it as a replacement for the Dig-Uno if you'd like to have the voltage distribution on the board. Now, this is the first time I'm sharing anything about this board. So I'm going to look at the chat and I'm really wondering what you guys think. Found PCB way cheaper and faster than dirty PCBs. Yeah, that's basically one of the reasons why I'm offering support for both. It really depends on where you are and what kind of board you're ordering, which one is cheaper and actually faster. So that's why I do both now for all the boards. Can you tell me if the TS100 is worth it? I think the TS100 is a fine soldering iron. I still like using a soldering station if you do this always at the same spot and you can just leave it there like I have. But if you need to have any mobility or just want a soldering iron but you want to be able to put it away, the TS100 is excellent. Nice, can't wait for you to release. Very good idea and practical. It is. We just need to know the date when we can get them. Okay, well, that's a positive response. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know yet. It's in the works. As I said, I don't even have my first prototype released yet. First, I will finish the quinled-deca-plus. As I said, I hope that the last prototype of that will be coming in soon. That will be the 4th or the 5th prototype I actually have made, so I can test it. And I just said that PCBs for this thing is $80 alone, so this has been quite an expensive project. Yeah, more boards, more stuff in 2020. So that's certainly something, and I kind of wanted to share that because, well, this is the anniversary of the channel and of me, and you know, you get to have some sneak peeks. I've been calling you Quinn. It has recently come to my attention that that's not your name. Do you share your real name on YouTube? If so, what is it? Okay, so my real name is Andries. Andries in Dutch. Andries. In English, that would literally translate to Andrew. But Quindor is more of a real name for me than a nickname. So I've been Quindor for, I don't know, since I've been 10. I don't know. I don't know how I got the nickname. It just stuck. I needed a nickname for in games, I guess. So lots more people know me as Quindor, and calling me Quindor or Quinn or Q. I often answer my emails with Q. That's all fine. So whatever you like, Michael. Andries or Quindor or Quinn, that's all good. It will be ready sooner than the ultimate overkill desk. Ah, why do you need to go there? If you ask my girlfriend, no. If you ask me, probably. Let's not tell her this. Nice to meet you, Q. Nice to meet you, Michael. So, how does this go back on? Oh, there we go. Let me get this out of the way real quick, because I have some other stuff lined up I can show you. I guess this is sneak peek night from everything I've been doing behind the scenes. There's a lot more stuff I can't really show you, but, you know, I like keeping busy. But it's turned into more of a live channel update, I guess. Okay. Oh, this needs to go there. Whatever. Okay. She's watching. No, I don't think she is. She's in the living room playing The Sims. So, I just showed you this board. But let's move this board on. Because there's something attached to that board. And I'm not sure I can show you on camera, but I'm going to try. Because I've been talking to a new supplier of LED strip. As you guys know, I've been a very profound promoter of color diode. I don't have any relations to those people or the company. I've never actually spoken to them even. But I'm always on the lookout for good LED strip, both digital and analog. And I test stuff now and again, and I get stuff in. And actually, I asked this company, Oxmar, for a sample kit. And let me turn this on real quick. Let's hope things don't explode. Okay. So, and they obliged, and they sent me a sample kit of their 120 LEDs per meter LED strip, which is CRI 95, so that's really high, that's really good. Let's switch over to that camera. Yeah, that's fine. And they've sent me a sample kit I needed to do a video, because I have some articles on the quality of white light and how there's a difference in LED strips and stuff like that. And I kind of needed LED strip to be able to show that. And, well, that's right, these aren't the right way around. They sent me a kit of CRI 95, as I said, and where's my finger? There we go. This is 2400K. This is 2700K. This is 3000K, so that's what you generally get for warm white. This is 4000K, 5000K, and 6000K. So I wanted to be able, and this IP camera isn't really good at showing you the difference. Let's see if I can hold it in front of the camera, and if that's better. If I do it like this. Yeah. I haven't really tuned the camera to be able to see the differences in these strips. But in real life, there's a really big difference in the colors of these LEDs. But I've been testing them, and I don't have a colorimeter, so I can't really test CRI, but I can test it against other strip, and I have very sensitive eyes in that regard. And this strip has been doing very, very nice. Let me kill this. Okay. So next to the color diode strip, I'm probably going to be recommending this brand in the future also. I'll be changing my pages on quinled-info because it is a little bit cheaper, and especially the 2400K if you want soft, really warm LED strip, this is excellent stuff. But as I said, there's going to be 2 videos upcoming about that. One discussing why and what you need to watch out for when buying LED strip, and then another one, I guess, featuring the LED strip I like. I don't want to do that in the same video. I might make a remark about it, but other than that, I think I'm going to separate it, because otherwise people will just think I'm trying to shield them some stuff and you need to buy anything I tell you and stuff like that. I don't like that. But yeah, I'm really happy with this stuff. It's very nice, and as I said, it's a bit cheaper than the color diode. Quality-wise, I think it's the same. I like the 2600K from color diode more, but the 400K than the 3000 and the 4000 actually. Of these are actually better. So yeah, upcoming stuff. This is the upcoming stuff live stream, I guess. Let's see here. Do you plan to make some videos about DIY data backups, NOS, for the rest of us? I don't really want a rack server in my basement. You haven't joined the stream long enough. I just told everyone I'm going to be using a Raspberry Pi 4 to do a sort of custom Home Assistant NOS NVR combo box. Also upcoming this year. So, yeah. Let's see what everyone's saying. She's watching. No. Second on the DIY cheap NOS. Okay. Why the name intermittent? That's a good question. Oh. I wrecked my chair. There we go. Many years ago, I had my blog. And especially when I was very busy with work, the amount of content that would arrive on my blog was very, can you guess it? Very intermittent. So when I'd have some more time and I didn't have too many LAN parties or I was busy with work, I'd write 2 or 3 articles in 2 weeks, and then I'd write nothing for 3 months. And then I'd write articles again 2 in a month, and then I'd write nothing for half a year. And so when the blog became more serious and stuff like that, I was like, okay, I need a name. And I came up with intermittent technology because, well, the time I had to work on this, or I felt like working on it, I guess too, was very intermittent. So the whole information flow and anything I did was very intermittent and bursty. It still isn't in some ways. I try to make a video once a week if I can. If I can't, I don't really beat myself up about it either. Because there's lots of stuff going on in the background too, because I just like doing this kind of stuff. Yeah, but that's where the name intermittent technology came from, because my contribution or my work on this channel, blog, YouTube, whatever, was very intermittent. Yeah. Which color did you choose for your stairs rails and behind the bed? 2700 or 3000? That is all super warm white from color diode. So that's around 2600 to 2700K. And in the windowsill, it had a little bit of a different color. That was around 3000 Kelvin. But it's really hard to show up the exact color it has in real life on a camera, because your camera has a white balance setting, and if I change that white balance setting, I can make pure white look like very warm white, or the other way around. So getting this stuff on camera is very hard, and it's always going to be different than what you see in real life. Your research about quality strips is appreciated. Much easier for us to choose what to buy in what situation. Please continue. Thank you. I certainly will. It's just, I really found it very hard when I was looking for this information out there myself. There's a lot of commercial interests, I guess I should say, for websites which recommend stuff. I try to be as independent as I can, going as far as not having a Patreon. I will accept stuff. I will accept some companies sending me stuff if they offer it and I want to have it. 99% of the time companies want to send me stuff, I say no, because it wouldn't be something I would have considered buying myself. If I consider buying it myself, I will allow a free sample. And for instance, this stuff, I found them on AliExpress. I wanted to test it out. And instead of ordering it, which I often do, in this case, I approached the company and I said, hey, I'm Quinder from Intermittent Technology YouTube channel and quinled-info, etc. Would you be willing to send me a sample kit of 24, 27, 3000, 4000, 5000, and 6000 so I can make a video with it? And I'll mention your name that you've supplied those strips. And I'll do that because I don't mind working with companies. I just don't want them dictating what I can and cannot say. So I told them, watch my videos, look at my blog. I am going to test your shit. And if your shit is shit, I'm going to tell everyone it's shit. Even if you gave it for free, I don't care. Don't send me something that's not good, because I will tell them. And if they can work with those stipulations, I guess, I'm willing to accept free samples. I've never been paid for anything. I'm not sure I ever will be or want to be. But yeah, how did I get to this question? Wait. Oh yeah, the research about strips. So yeah, I will always remain impartial in that. Even though these samples, I asked for them, but yeah. Hello, I already have Home Assistant running with Philips Hue lights and Osram motion sensors. Now I'm thinking about a new project. Never got enough LED lighting projects. That is certainly true. I have so many projects I want to do. I want to put LEDs under every stair in the staircase. It's half round, 16 steps in stair light. Oh, round is going to be difficult. In the stair length and step 18 with 15 meters. Okay, do you have any tips how to make this the best? So, when starting an LED project, the first thing you need to do is kind of think about, do I want to make it analog or digital? Analog has the advantage you can run 24 volts. Digital is generally 5 volt or maybe 12 volt. Then analog is mostly suited for light situations where you want actual light, like lighting my face. And digital is fun for accent lighting, like effects behind me. Those are actually analog, but any effects and coloring and stuff like that. I'm kind of getting into the video. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But yeah, those are the two questions you should answer first. And then from there you can start designing. Wiring is easier for analog LED because you need less wire and less copper because it's 24 volt. But with digital, you can make cooler effects. And for instance, with segmenting an API in WLED, you can make it a per stair digital effect, for instance. But if you have controllers, for instance, quinled-deca has 10 channels. You could make one channel per step, and then you could still control those steps individually. So yeah, it really depends on what you are trying to achieve, if you should go analog or digital, and what kind of complexity you're looking for. Basically, for those kind of things, I think digital is more complex than analog. Is there a possibility that you will have quinled shipped with case like finished product? Not anytime soon. I'm doing a run of the quinled-dig-unos, as you probably know, but that will just come in a little baggie, and it will be the complete assembled board. And I recommend just using a project box or a 3D printed housing. Let me get one, hold on. Because I keep talking about project boxes, but I don't think I've ever showed one. For instance, this is a small one. I'll use this for a quad or a dig uno. And they're just little boxes. This one's screwed together. This one is, well, almost screwed together. So they're just boxes you can put your stuff in, and they often have a watertight seal included with them, and then you can just screw them tight, and then, well, it's just a box. And these are like $2 or $3. And what I mostly do, as you could see with the bedroom video, for instance, I just drill a hole here, and I put all the cables through there, or I drill a hole here, and I drill a hole here for incoming and outgoing power, and yeah, then it's in a box. That's not watertight anymore, but you can use glands. I actually have a whole bag of those over there. If you want to use it outside, you can use cable glands and maybe some silicone grease and stuff like that to seal that up, and then you can use it outside. So when I talk about a project box, I mean boxes like this. Okay. Yeah, so a finished product with a box included. I don't know, let's say I get through the 100 quinled-dig-unos like in a day, and then I make a new batch and that sells really quickly too. Maybe then there's a market for it, and I could maybe, I don't know, go that route. It will cost a lot of time developing and testing and getting that all set up with Chinese suppliers and stuff like that. I'm not saying that's an impossibility, but I don't know. I'll have to see how that goes, and then that'll have to grow over time, I guess. So, yeah. Andres, could you pinpoint me to the cob LEDs you used? Tried the links on your site, but got lost on the Chinese site. Yeah, my downlights are from a company called Lepu, L-E-P-U. And they used to be on AliExpress, but now they're only on Alibaba. But Night Owl, I don't think he's around tonight. He's often in the Discord server. He ordered ordered from them recently, and he's been very satisfied with them too. So you'll have to look on Alibaba.com and look for Lepu Lighting, L-E-P-U, and then you should be able to find them. Other than that, I don't really have a good recommendation. Stuff locally here in the Netherlands is insanely cheap. Insanely expensive. I could buy 10 lights in China of very good quality for an average one here in the Netherlands, or maybe 2. So that's why I went the China route with that. But yeah, look up Lepu Lighting. Is there any particular supplier from Ali which have all components available for your boards, or something like a kit? I've been working on that too, although I've been working on getting the pre-assembled quicker. But I've been working on this for the past 2 years already. I'd like a supplier to be able to just offer the quinled-deca or the quinled-quad kit, which has all the components, maybe with a few spares included. So you can buy the PCBs, you can buy the kit. I still get a little bit of affiliate revenue, so all good there. And then, well, that would be great. But I haven't been able to find a supplier with which I can have good enough communication to get that set up. Or they would ask like 3 times as much as buying all the components individually would be. So no. Right now, no. I still hope to do that in the future, because I'd like to make kits, and I see other people selling on Tindy, but that's just going to make stuff so expensive, because I have to buy it for the same price you can, get it over here, pay import taxes, do a lot of work to put it in baggies, and then ship it out again, where I have to charge European shipping rates, so that's like $10 or $15 for a package, and then I have to pay export taxes, and by the time you get it, it's 2.5 times as expensive as it would have been just ordering from AliExpress. So that's why I don't do kits. But if I can get an AliExpress vendor or another website to make one, I will certainly do that, but right now that's still a no-go. That's okay, Lesek. Prepared for the storm coming tomorrow in the Netherlands. I heard about that. I was at my neighbors today to fix some of their Wi-Fi stuff. You know how it goes. Hey, you're the IT guy. Come fix my Wi-Fi. No, but I actually set up their Wi-Fi with a few MikroTik access points and Kapsman, so that's a really nice setup. And they helped me out when I was first building this house. They provided the internet so that I can view my IP cameras while building live. And they're just really nice people, so I don't mind doing that. But he also mentioned the storm, and I actually made a precaution, and that is that I don't think I've told many people this. Last year, during one of the storms, my house threw one of my roofing tiles through the back window of my car. That was expensive. So let's not do that again. I think they're not gonna get blown off this time, but I've moved my car a little bit further away from the house because I don't want to even run the chance that that's going to happen again. Because we use concrete slabs that are, I think, this big and they weigh a few kilos. So there wasn't just it smashed through the window and then it jumped a few times on the hood and there were scratches everywhere. That was a big fiasco. Luckily, insurance covered most of that, but otherwise I would have been really, really unhappy. So I don't want to run the chance again that happening. No, it's in front of the house, so it shouldn't reach. Let's see. So, more topics. Let me put those boxes back and get another thing. I guess we can do some live product testing while we're at it. Had one land outside my front door last week. Oh, that's not good. So another thing that came in today. I guess we can do that just on top of the LED lights. Makes for a cool effect. Is in one of my last videos, I showed you the broken IP camera. That's still working excellently, by the way. The fix for that. And one of the comments was you can use, what's it called again? I believe silicone tape? I don't remember. But it's tape that basically sticks to itself and forms a permanent bond, but without glue. So if you look here, it has this separating foil between it. This is the first time of me seeing it too. So let me cut off a little piece. Because I have some plans on how I want to seal it up and make it watertight this time, or better watertight. But basically this stuff, and let's see if I cut it like this. There we go. It should only basically adhere to itself. So let's peel it off here. Or not only, but mostly. It's a bit hard to do. Okay. There we go. And then if I put this piece here. Hold on. There we go. And squeeze that together. This is a live test. I just ordered this stuff. It actually came during the holidays, so, or I ordered it. I mean, it came during Chinese New Year, so that's interesting. Let's hope I don't get the virus. So now let's remove this part and this part. Huh. Look at that. Can you guys see that? So there's no real glue on there because, you know, you can see my hands touching them. But it's basically fused together. Cool. That's some really cool stuff. So yeah, he mentioned in the comments that when he wants to make something watertight, he mostly just wraps it in this kind of stuff. I can see why. Because there's no glue, but there's just a permanent seal, so no water can get through either. Cool. That's nice. Yeah, I'm stretching it all right. Let's see what everyone's saying. That's vulcanizing? Vulkaniserende tape. Vulcanizing. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Cool. So, I'll probably... because there's a keystone on one side, and then now there's a UTP plug. I'll probably plug them in, and then heat shrink around it, and then put an extra layer of this stuff around that. And I think that should... well, maybe I'll fill in the heat shrink with some hot glue too, just to make sure. And that should make a permanent enough bond to which water couldn't infiltrate, I think. And probably wrap it with this stuff, because that's cool. I mean... yeah, no, that's that's stuck. Nice. And there's no glue, because it's not sticking to my fingers. Cool. Okay. Yeah, you stretch it around the joint. Yeah. Cool. See, I didn't know about this stuff. I don't know everything either. I didn't know about this stuff, and someone mentioned it in the comments and was like, okay, yeah, that sounds interesting. So I got some, and that is actually pretty cool. Nice. More stuff to use in my projects. Let me look up how that's called, because it had a name. AliExpress. Do you guys also offer buy too much at AliExpress? It's just, I could have probably found this in some Dutch shop somewhere. I just like buying on AliExpress. It's really cool. I like it. And I like you guys using my affiliate links if you want to. But yeah. Let's see here. Tapey. No, there's all kinds of other stuff. Let's see here. Where is it? Nope, more other stuff. Oh, I bought so much stuff. I'm buying too much stuff. It's all for projects. Waterproof silicone performance repair tape. Bonding, rescue, home water pipe repair, strong seal film. Yes. Best. Yes. Yes. I love Chinese descriptions. Let's see. Stretch it. Keep water in, keep water out. Details. Ali is just too easy. Isn't it? Amalgam tape. Is that the same stuff, or... Still waiting for 17 packages from Ali. Oh, man. Let's see what mine says. Awaiting delivery, 13. Awaiting shipment, 17. Oh, man. But 10 orders of that are for something... well, something else I bought. But I bought it from Banggood, actually. Let me see if I can look that up. I think I can. Phone. Hold on. Yeah, that's fine. Chrome. There you go. I bought myself an electric scooter, as they're called. Or I call it an electric step, but you know, it's a Xiaomi M365 Pro, and well, basically a lot of stuff I ordered are some accessories for this, and of course I can't have one of these without LED lights. I mean, there's an LED headlight, but That's not going to do. So we're going to be putting... my nose is itchy. We're going to be putting a quinled-dig-uno in there, and we're going to make LEDs on the underside that can do all kinds of patterns, which will be powered from the internal batteries. That's the plan. So I needed a lot of stuff to do that, to be able to hook into the internal batteries and connect to the Quin LED and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's going to happen. So this has become the sneak peek 2020 stream. You know, I hope you guys like following my projects, and I'll detail and show you guys stuff. But yeah, I didn't really buy this to use it outside. That's still officially illegal in the Netherlands. They're probably going to legalize it this year, but I basically bought it. I do a lot of LAN parties, and especially in the new venue we have for the party, which is upcoming in April, there's going to be a lot of walking involved, and well, I want to use this step. So to save myself some walking. I turned 41, guys. I'm getting old. Yes, I need this step. I'm old. This is my old man step. So yeah, projects with that guy coming up too. Let's see here. In Poland, stop sending anything from China for the time being because of virus. Why? This virus can only be transferred by organic contact. So if you have packaging material or whatever else, the virus cannot survive on that even for a few minutes. So by the time it gets here from China, that virus is dead 50 times over. So there's no reason not to send any packages. The problem is that the workers that send those packages are at home sick, or aren't actually allowed to come to work to try and stop the spread of the virus. But the problem isn't that there's a chance that the virus will get out on packages or anything like that. Just living people. So, yeah. 21 awaiting to shipment. Oh, you actually have more packages than me. I hope you used my affiliate link. That would be very much appreciated. Yeah, the police likes them in Netherlands so they can take it from you. Yeah, I know. I'm not going to drive this thing outside. It's just for large venues and stuff like that. But, yeah, and doing cool projects, of course. I've seen lots of them having LED lights on there. Or some of them. None with addressable LED lights like I'm planning. But most of them have like a little battery pouch where they then power the LEDs from. And I'm like, but there's a giant battery in this thing. Why don't you use that instead of adding an extra battery pouch to power the LEDs? That's just stupid. So I'm going to try and build it in there and finish it off nicely so that it looks stock and, yeah, WLED, you know. Are you using Banggood much? They screw me on a pre-order that didn't want to complete, even do the sale, same product, more expensive. I use Banggood sometimes. I know a lot of people like using them, so that's why I have links to them on quinled-info, for instance, and other stuff. But for instance, this little scooter step, they had a promotion going on there, sending it from an EU warehouse, so I don't get import tax. And that was actually at least $100 cheaper than the cheapest one on AliExpress. So sometimes for that kind of stuff, I like using Banggood. In Poland, they have Kaczynski. He thinks the virus is worse than him. Okay. Don't know about that. No, you don't need a permit. They're just banned. And this one would fit all regulations outside of the Netherlands. But in the Netherlands, they just banned all of them. So, yeah, I'm just going to use it indoor for now and probably always. That's why I bought it as main purpose. But I know some people who actually use them for work-home traffic. And I think they're great for that. So Netherlands should really get on that regulation for that. So, how long have I been streaming? Can anyone see that? Because I don't look at the YouTube thing. How many people are watching even? 67. Okay. That's nice. Hey guys. Thanks for watching. So let's... oh wait. Recording 1 hour 45 minutes. Okay. Cool. So let's do another 15 minutes for this anniversary stream. I turned 41. We are now 20,000 subscribers rich. And we're going for 1 million. No, that'll never happen. I don't know. Will that ever happen? I don't know. I didn't think I'd reach 20,000. So, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe we'll go for 1 million. Having goals is important. We'll go for 1 million in 100 years. I don't know. I hope the channel keeps growing. I hope you guys keep liking the videos and maybe sharing the videos. That actually helps a lot, because especially when a video gets released, if YouTube notices traffic coming in from lots of sources, it will actually promote the video even more. So if you want to if you like my videos and want to do me a favor, don't have Patreon, share my videos maybe in friends groups, Facebook, Reddit, whatever, and otherwise maybe buy something using one of the affiliate links if you were going to buy something anyway. So that those are the ways to support me. And as I said, we have 15 minutes, so who has more questions? I already sneak peeked so much. It's going to take me months to actually make all these videos, but now you know at least what's coming up. At least in regards to LEDs and stuff like that. And P cameras and board designs and yeah. So, ask your questions. Suddenly turned silent. Is everyone gone? Am I sitting here talking to this camera alone? No. YouTube says there's 70 people watching. I'm screwed. I took a peek on AliExpress. I don't need anything, but somehow my basket's filling up with stuff. I actually do that on purpose. If I see something and I think, that might be nice, I often keep it in my basket as a sort of wish shopping list. And then when there's one of the big sales, because they have a few during the year, especially if it's stuff I don't really need at that moment, I'll keep it in there. And then when there's a sale, I'll buy the stuff I didn't really need, but then it's cheaper, so yeah. How fast does a step go? This is an M365 Pro, so it goes about 25 kilometers an hour, and for 45 kilometers. And 25 kilometers an hour is a somewhat running pace, I would say. It's not very fast like a moped or something like that, but it's plenty fast. I need to reload the glass. Okay. Mine still has a little bit. I need to drink more. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to flash the firmware. I'm going to be using it as a tool mostly, although I am going to tinker with it. So, you never know actually with me. For now, I'm going to focus on the LED project for it, and after that we'll see. For the step. So yeah. We are all on AliExpress, yes. Question from earlier, how many 4K cameras could a Raspberry Pi 4 NVR handle? Well, that really depends on the software. Sorry about that. But I don't know. We're going to be finding out later this year, because I'm going to be using this little Raspberry Pi for Home Assistant NAS NVR combo box on the cheap low power usage, etc. So yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm thinking like 4, something like that. And it also depends if you want to run motion detection or not in software. Well, when you flash it, you can use a very nice app that has so much info, but that's a thing for later. It sounds to me like you might have already have more experience about this than I do. So that's interesting. Are you on the Discord server? It's always good to have information. So, I showed you all kinds of things I'm going to do this year. Is there anything you guys would like to see on the channel? Maybe a topic I've covered before, but cover it more in depth. Maybe some server stuff, LED stuff, you know. What would you guys like to see? What kind of videos? Because, well, I make the content I like to make, but there's lots of topics, and I often make a choice in what I do, but I'd love to hear. Sure I am. Cool, okay. Which hypervisor do you want to use on a Raspberry Pi? I don't know. I've been thinking about maybe just using Docker. So not using virtual machines, but just running some containers. Because that's least resource intensive. And I haven't played with it yet, so I don't know how I'm going to set it up yet. While we're on that subject, I announced my HA project, so my High Available Home Assistant or Home Assistant High Available. I have been working on that in the background, but my first plans for that have kind of grind to a halt because I wanted to use Gluster, which is readily available in Proxmox, and I got that working just fine, except that Gluster... if you run Gluster storage, you can't use any VM snapshots anymore. And I'm looking into if I can figure out a different way to do that without that limitation. So that's coming somewhere in this year too. I don't know when, but... Why use HA on a Pi for a NOS? No, it's not so much HA on a Pi for a NOS. It's more like I want to see... I did the total overkill server, and now I want to see if you just want to run some services like running Home Assistant, you want some file storage, and you want to run a few IP cameras, if that could all fit on a Raspberry Pi. I know it's a lot less hype, it's very low power, but I wonder if it's enough to keep power usage and stuff like that in check. Of course, the step up of that would be like an Intel NUC or something like that. But I kind of wanted to have the contrast of doing the really big server and then the really tiny one, where the big one uses like 200 watts and the tiny one uses like 20 watts. So I'm just going to do that as a fun project. And maybe the end conclusion will be, you don't want to do this. But I don't know yet, because I haven't done it yet. There goes nothing. Power management for multiple LED strips. You'll have to elaborate on that, Ramon. Yeah, Ramon. What do you mean with that? Because, for instance, these analog LED strips, if you PWM them as they are, because they're dimmed really low at this moment, that is 100% efficient. So the strips are basically on only a fraction of each second, and that directly translates to power usage. So what do you mean with power management? I'm still looking forward to your thermostat project. That will continue. I would love to see how you would set up a backup for all your VMs you have. Okay, that's a good topic. I sometimes, there's a backup feature in Proxmox, and I sometimes manually make a backup of one, and then that folder is included in my DIY cloud backup solution. But I could maybe make a video about that. That's cool. I'm running Veeam, but I would like to know if it can be better. Okay, sure. A review of the Dahua AI cameras would be good. I believe one of the models I have for the new test cameras is an AI model. AI model, Jesus. But I haven't really looked into those yet. So, yeah. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. 70 people watching. Nice. Thanks for joining all. That I really appreciate that, because it's always a bit nerve-wracking, isn't? I guess it's more exciting to see if people actually want to show up to see me babbling into a camera for a few hours. So I really appreciate you guys being here. What is that thermostat project? Well, the first thing I did is I put sensors in all of my rooms, and that's basically finished. And the second part of that project is basically, I have a lot of baselys. I have an ESP Home, no. I have an Honeywell Evo Home setup to do multi-room heating and cooling for my central heating and cooling system. And I want to replace that because although the hardware is fine, I believe the software was made by someone who didn't graduate kindergarten and shouldn't be ever allowed to make software again. Go watch my videos if you want to know why. So I'm going to try and replace that. It's basically controlling the underfloor heating valves. Great stream today. Thank you. Thanks for the video and celebrating with us. Yeah, I thought this was the perfect opportunity. 20,000 subscribers, which I'm really happy with, and I turned 41. I'm maybe less happy with that number, but I'm glad I turned 41. I mean, if you didn't, that'd be the end of it. So, yeah, it's just a number. I actually had to okay your comment, Mikael. Yeah, Honeywell, I mean, I don't know who made that stuff. I guess it's okay if you're just trying to do heating, but if you're trying to do heating and cooling like I am, I still can't fathom how they ever made it this way. But, you know, grats on surviving this long. See, that's what you should celebrate each year. Not that you turned a year older, because who wants to turn older? But I survived another year. It was a good year. It was a great, yeah, it was a pretty good year. Let's do another good year. Did you find an alternative 8 amp MOSFET that triggers at 3.3 volts for the Deca yet? No. No and yes, actually. The MOSFETs that I had listed there before, such as the FD5800 and some others, those officially should work. But the samples I kept getting from China were counterfeits or didn't meet the specifications they should. So I just took it off there, and the Deca is now 4 amp per channel. The Deca Pro, which that's currently on, which I have over here, that I've been testing and working on, and that's been working perfectly with up to 8 amps or even 10 or 12 amps per channel. I'm officially rating it at 8 amps, but with this one, you can certainly drive a lot higher load. I've had 250 watt of LED strip behind one channel, and the MOSFET got like 70 degrees, so that's perfectly fine. But I did a lot, because this board is a lot bigger. That's part of the reason why it's a lot bigger. There's a lot more surface area on this board to cool these MOSFETs, and I'm using SMD, so it's connected to the board so it can sink the heat away, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I'm using LED gate drivers to again increase efficiency, so decreasing heat, and well, I made these cool LEDs, and on this prototype, let me show you. No, there we go. Show you this one. Yeah. Oh no, the camera. Okay. I made these LEDs, and what they are supposed to do is that per channel, these will display the same PWM value as it is currently set to. So, for instance, no, this is not the right one. I'm sorry for the spazzing of that camera. I tested it, was working fine. It's exact same setup as my previous stream. Now it's not working anymore. Oh well. Pro test. There we go. So, for instance, look at that yellow LED over here. In this prototype, I did my wiring wrong, so it's now working in reverse. That should be fixed on the newest prototype. If I turn the channel off, the LED becomes the brightest it will be. Then if I turn it halfway, you don't really see that on the camera, I guess. Let's turn it up more. There, you see it dimming down a little bit. And then if I open up the LED completely, the LED strip completely, you see it dimming. And if I lower it a little bit, you see some light appear again. And if I then turn off the LED strip, you see it light up very bright again. So in the end, this will work in reverse. If the LED strip is off, the LED for that channel will be off. And if you turn it up 50%, the LED will burn 50%. And if you turn up 100%, the LED will burn 100%. Because for me, I have these boards in a central location, and I can't really see the LED light that's connected to it to see if everything's working the way I want it to. So now I basically have a status LED per channel, so you can see the value that channel is currently set to. And I also have a board status LED over here to see that the board power is connected, because you can now disconnect board power after the DC-DC converter to set it. Don't know what I wanted to say. Yeah, but that's one of the new features on the Deca-Plus, next to being able to handle a lot more power and having a fuse per channel. Yeah, lots of stuff. Let me get back to the chat. No, my birthday wasn't today. It was last Wednesday, so on the 5th. Hi, Andres. Your name is almost the same as mine. Mine is Andries, so just an I before the E. Thanks for helping me with PCB design. Do you have any buy me a coffee link? Nope, I don't. If you buy parts, just use my AliExpress stuff. That'd be really appreciated. You're 41 years young. Yes, I am. Thank you. The idea is to die as young as possible. To die young as late as possible. This is a good goal. Yes, I will do this. I will die very young at a late age. No, I don't know. I don't plan on dying yet or anytime soon. So, you know, the cameras guy having issue with cameras. Yeah, it's just. I'm not even going to. This board is a way too nice to install in a project. Way too nice to install into a project. Yeah, okay, sure. Maybe at some point I'll design a 3D case, or someone else will design a 3D case which will show off the LEDs with some transference material maybe, or something like that. Who knows? Life really begins in about 9 years. Is that so, Case? I don't know. My life's pretty okay. I try to, you know, have fun with it. So, but we've been streaming for more than 2 hours now. I've been really having fun. Then get a buy me a coffee account. I have PayPal if you really want to, but other than that, you really don't have to. But if you really want to, hit me up on Discord, and you can. But yeah, just keep doing the boards on AliExpress and stuff like that, and maybe share a video now and then. And I'd be really happy with that. So, I hope everyone had a fun stream. I did. I really liked celebrating with you guys. And as you could see, lots more stuff upcoming. And I'm going to get to working on that. And maybe do a live stream now and then, because I like chatting with you guys and hanging out. And sometimes the live stream will have a topic. Sometimes it's just hanging out and chatting with you guys, answering questions. And yeah, thank you for being here. Share a link to the Dig-Uno boards so we can buy them. I will. As I said, I will make the page available first on quinled-dig-info. Then I will tell so on the Discord. So if you're there, you will be one of the first to be able to buy it. And once that's done, I will release them a video on YouTube so everyone knows that they can be bought. So if you want to be one of the first to buy them, make sure to hang around in the Discord, and I'll post it in the quinled-dig-uno channel, just so you know. I do not have much experience with Blue Iris, so I can't really help you there, Rock Dip. Have a good night. Thanks for the video. Stream topics are intermittent. Yes, yes they are, Jeff. Thanks. Love the stream. I loved hanging out with you guys. So, yeah, thank you for joining, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
There is something so wrong, and lately I don't know what to do. Picture perfect, but I'm dying, and I know you feel it too. When did we both get